the fire department job. It was a job that I loved. It was a job that it gave me so much. I also ultimately saw that it wasn't allowing me to take that next step to start to actually build and live the story that I actually wanted to build. And I knew that story before I got on the fire department. So I got on at 32. I wasn't one of the young kids that came straight out of the military and went into the fire department. So I had already known kind of what my journey was going to be, what I ultimately wanted to do. And I used a lot of what I was able to obtain in the fire department to help me along on that journey. Actually, it's hard to explain how and when it started. But I can remember the first time that I really had that calling for living in the mountains, living close to where you recreate. Because let me back it up. Ultimately, what I want to do is I want to live where I recreate. I grew up in the city. I love the city, but I want to be close to the things that I do that I enjoy. I don't want to have to load up the car, drive 3 or 4 hours to be where the goods are good. I want to walk out of my door and look around and say, those woods, that mountain, that stream. That's what I ultimately always wanted. And looking back to when I first really realized that was I was in elementary school, and one of my friends had a cabin in New Hampshire, and I got the invite. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. It sounds like something that's fun. Told me he had a 4-wheeler. I'm like, that sounds fun. I got up there. It was winter time. He showed me how to ride the 4-wheeler, rode me around a couple of times, let me ride it. Then as it happens, when you are living something that you live all the time, you don't see the enjoyment in it. So he was cold, hands were cold, went inside, had some food. I could not pry myself away from riding around those cabins on that 4-wheeler, cold hands, probably snot dripping down my face. But it was one of those things that I just knew. I'm like, this is fun. Now, riding your bike around the city, doing all those things as a kid, that's fun, that's entertaining, that's something that there's joy there. But that time in the woods in New Hampshire on that 4-wheeler, that was where I realized that's where I ultimately wanted to be. But as most stories have, they have layers. And now that I'm a little bit older, looking back, I realized that actually wasn't the first time that I realized the woods are where I wanted to be. I grew up in the inner city of Boston, but right at the end of my neighborhood, there was a massive green space. It was Franklin Park. Had a golf course, had a zoo, walking trails, all kinds of things where you would go do cookouts and picnics, and whenever there were outdoor festivals, that's where they had them. But there were woods 5 minutes from where I lived. And I always found myself in those woods, riding my bike, acting like I was Tarzan, king of the jungle, just enjoying the outdoors. And I didn't realize what exactly that was until I started to look back and bring all those things back. And I realized that there was a through line through all of that, and it showed up often. And you don't catch it when you're young. You look back and you reflect on it and you're like, you know what? This has always been my path. And once you start to see that, the responsibilities of your life can squash it, can hold it down, can make it something that you put on the back burner. But if you are able to build a life that allows you to move towards that, that's a special thing. It's a hard thing. It's gonna take you a direction that most people at a certain age with a certain level of responsibilities, with a certain income, are going to diverge from. And that has definitely happened to me. I have a lot fewer friends that I see on a regular basis because I've been working this path for 15, 20 years in one way, shape, or form. And that's a hard thing to actually accept. But I know that when I finally get there, there's a bar stool waiting for me with another like-minded person sitting right there. And I know that because whenever I go on any ski trip, any place by myself, that person is always sitting at that bar waiting for me. And things have definitely changed. The places that I want to go, the ski towns I want to live in, all those things have changed. But the one thing that has stayed constant is the fact that I know that's where I want to be. So knowing what you want early in life, as early as possible, is one of those things that you can't underestimate how important it is. Because the sooner you know, the more time you have building that ladder that allows you to climb to the heights you want to climb to. All that to say, from that little kid walking around in Franklin Park in the city of Boston to early retirement from a dream job in pursuit of that mountain life, that's what I've been doing for the last 30 years. And I'm gonna keep doing it until I get there. I'm Blair, and this is the Dirtbag Association, where our wax is old, our knees are older, but the stoke doesn't melt. See you on the mountain.